Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV for round number 9 of the TTML F3 Championship here in Brazil. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. One more round to go after this, and taking you through the action tonight is myself, Michael Edwards, and joined alongside me is Mr. Storm Kings. How are you doing, Storm?
Yeah, I'm definitely up for this one, and I'm doing fantastic as we head to Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely a iconic circuit on the F1 calendar. Who would ever forget the fantastic amount of championship deciders we've had here in Brazil over the years? Of course, that is not the case going into tonight, as CR7 wrapped up the championship last weekend. But as we are readying up going into qualifying, I should be telling you that we are going to be doing a 1 minute silence for the 55th anniversary of the tragedy that struck the small Welsh village of Aberfan 55 years ago. So we will be doing a minute silence for the first minute of qualifying, and we will be back after the minute silence has been completed. So we'll catch you in just a moment, guys. And we thank you all for going through that minute silence with us. Of course, tonight being the 55th anniversary of the tragedy that happened in Aberfan, which cost the lives of 144 people, 116 of which were children, and of course 28 adults. And it's a sad day in Welsh history as well as in British history in general, and we pay tribute tonight. I believe there are some who may be running a black helmet here tonight, so keep an eye out for the helmet designs, as everyone showing respect for that tragedy. But looking in now to the penultimate round of the F3 Championship here in TTML. We got Legend out on track first, looking to get his run going. What do you think of this track and the opportunities that is going to provide for some people here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's obviously going to provide quite a lot of opportunities, as we've seen in recent Brazilian Grand Prix, as I don't think last year's Grand Prix was held due to coronavirus. We've seen, obviously, the famous Hamilton and Albon incident, and obviously we've seen Pierre Gasly have a fantastic race in Brazil, so there's a lot of opportunities, but they also have to be careful of the turn 1 and turn 2 track limits.
Yes, the Senna S is definitely wants to keep an eye out on the full track limits, but also the uphill right-hander, very easy to just drift wide onto the exit curve and pick up an validation there, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that also. So on board with Legend, he does have a little bit of traffic on Dylan that he's got to get through, but he's managed to do so very well, and into the final sector now. Full throttle all the way to the line. What is this going to be for the man in the Mercedes? DRS wide open, looking to minimise the distance to the line, keeping it very tight to the left hand side, and it's going to be a 7.2 to get us underway.
Yeah, a very quick lap from Legend as well. I believe he wasn't here last week, so we haven't seen him since the British Grand Prix, which was a few weeks ago now. So he's going to want to come back and maybe just get himself a few extra points as well, with the shorter grid that we do have this evening. 14 drivers that will take to the track in Sao Paulo for Brazilian Grand Prix. A few drivers are on the medium compound tyre, but some are also on the soft compound tyre. I don't think we'll see any of the hard tyres being used this evening. I think we will be just seeing the medium and the soft, but we don't know what the race is going to be for the weather. We could be in store for some rain.
Yeah, absolutely. Rain, definitely a big possibility here in Sao Paulo, so we'll keep an eye out for that, as there is a Red Bull to the line, and it is going to be Scuba, and Scuba will cross the line. There's a 7.4, so pops himself up just ahead of TTG Waffles, who I believe is making his debut here tonight.
Yeah, and I think he'll want to get his debut off to a good start. He is on the soft. Oh, set to 2 yellow flags. That is a Ferrari off, and that's Robin retired from the session.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking for TTG Robin there in the Scuderia, and from the looks of it, it looks like he's just got onto the exit curb and maybe just speared off there to the left, as Wesker improves with a 7.1, so he jacks it up onto pole position. But I'm on board with this man right now, who has already been crowned the F3 champion, is CR7. Him and his teammate Scuba also wrapped up the constructors last week, so obviously the major honours, they're all gone, they're all out the window, but there's definitely a good battle going on for second in both constructors and in drivers. Obviously the drivers championship between Wesker and Yaham, who are here tonight, and in the constructors is the Aston Martins, the McLarens and the Alpha Tauris, who are pretty close in terms of points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one, especially for McLaren, because I believe neither driver is here. That's an actual reserve of AFRL Chris. As I've been informed, it is a dry race, so the intermediates and the wet tyres won't be needed, it looks to be. But yeah, I think everything for P2 and maybe P3 is still in the balance, and this could be a very crucial race going into what will be the season finale next week.
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe Wesker, he has a 11-point lead, if my memory serves me right, over Yaham in that battle for second. So Wesker is going to be looking to finish ahead of Yaham tonight, try and extend that gap as much as possible, so he's got less work to do next week.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting one to see maybe how Alpine, should I say, get on, as both their drivers are here this week and they're currently sitting in P5 and P6, but on the medium, so definitely some time can be found as they are in P5 and P6, both near to identical times as well, with a 1.8 for both of the drivers. Obviously Aston Martin doing quite well as well, P4 and pole position at the moment, but 11 minutes left on the clock. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely anything can happen, and obviously with a pretty shortened grid here with 14 drivers, it is a big possibility for some of these guys to get themselves some massive points here tonight. I mean, we've seen this guy, the man I'm on board with, Carlsbury, he's looked decent, but it all falls apart for him, and the same can go for the man in the Haas currently coming up to the line now in Jagermo. Definitely showing some pace, so tonight could be their night where they score some big points here.
Yeah, I think obviously as you mentioned, the smaller the grid, the more chances of the bigger points. I do wonder maybe turn one, turn two, whoever is in that pole position or P2, maybe even possibly P3. That's going to be a crucial point of the race. Who can get off the line the quickest? Who can get that move done into turn one and turn two? Because turn three and four is part of that DRS zone, so it's going to be a very popular overtaking place, especially if you're on the faster compound tyre.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, we're seeing a lot of guys kind of back out of their laps at the end of their runs. We saw Jagermol do exactly that with a 9.3. And do you think these guys are trying to qualify maybe outside the top 10, or maybe qualify late on the mediums to try and get themselves in the top 10?
It's a tricky one because obviously the tyre wear with Brazil, I'm not quite sure myself on how long they can last, but I believe last time I knew, before the patch, the medium tyres were the better tyre to start on because they do last a longer time, obviously, than the softs. But safety cars may be on the cards this evening. If that does happen, I do suspect somebody may try and do a long strategy.
Some teamwork there. Sorry to cut in. Some teamwork there from the Red Bulls as CR7 giving a nice toe there to Scuba as he crosses the line to take provisional pole.
Yeah, fantastic work there by the Red Bull team. Obviously still in that white livery, so they may be going for a special Brazilian race again this week after what was, I think we both can say, a fantastic race in USA where we had potentially 3 or 4 cars going wide in corners that you probably wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going to quickly bring up the standings just so you guys know like full context of everything that is going on right now in tonight. So CR7 has won the championship. There is no catching him now. It's mathematically impossible to do so. So the battle now turns to the battle for second place between Wesker and Yaham. 11 points between them. The battle for fourth is also pretty interesting as we got NSR Gals, who wasn't here last week but is here tonight. Obviously with him missing last week, he kind of took himself out of that battle for second. But he is here tonight, and hopefully we'll see him have a good race tonight. As trying to go on board with someone who is on a lap, and we're going to go on board with CR7. It looks like he is on a lap. So yeah, Gals on 89 points, so he is a little bit off Wesker and Yaham, so I don't think he's really going to be getting himself in that battle for second. But it is very close between him and the man who's currently second right now. On the front row in Scuba, there's only 3 points separating them, and 6 points back from them. 2 drivers who are not here tonight in Lemon and Stevie G, so they've kind of put themselves out of the running. And Mad Jonas also not here tonight in that McLaren, which opens up an opportunity for Yogi and Legend. Both of them are here tonight, and they can gain some good points, get themselves up there, and maybe jump a few drivers along the way.
Yeah, as just riding on board with one of the Williams drivers from NL, I can't get words out now, NSR Giles. He's currently in P6 on fresh softs. Well, they've done one lap. Also, just a quick update, Wesker has now set the provisional pole position lap time of a 1:70, so beating a Scuba. So obviously that battle is still going to be on at the moment for the pole position, as we've got just under 6 minutes left as we stick on board with NSR Giles as he comes through the last sector, as he will get DRS activation very soon.
Into the pits, I think.
Yeah, I think he will. Is he gonna? Well, he's using ERS, so yeah, he's gonna pull into the pits. And I think all the drivers will be getting now ready for that final run, as all the drivers have set laps. And it's quite interesting. TMC, well, CR7, as we know him, the champion for this season in this tier of Formula 3. He's right at the back with a 1:12.0.
As Jaeger Mulder improves by 1.3 seconds, gets himself up into 7th on those medium tyres. And yeah, speaking of CR7, I think now, because both constructors and drivers is wrapped up for him, he'll be most likely starting from the back, trying to do a little last the question mark challenge here tonight. But also, let's go second place in the other championships. We are going to have a look at them. So, of course, with Aston Martin, the only main driver for Aston Martin here tonight is Wesker, who's in our battle for second in the drivers. Aston Martin currently second on 141 points, 5 points clear of McLaren, and there's no full-time representatives here of McLaren here tonight. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri, represented by both their drivers in Yogi and Yaham, they are 11 points off Aston Martin. So it's a big opportunity for AlphaTauri to get themselves right in the mix. And of course, Mercedes here tonight, represented by Legend, who's a further Mercedes are a further 10 points back from AlphaTauri. So obviously, McLaren not being here tonight, that's going to be points that they're going to lose. Wesker on his own, he's going to have to deal with both AlphaTauris and the man that he's battling second in the championship for in Yaham. So it's going to be interesting. I think AlphaTauri are going to score some big points here tonight and overhaul Aston Martin by a decent amount.
Yeah, just a quick update. There is a McLaren here, but it is a reserve, I believe. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be very difficult for Chris to try and match the points of possibly two AlphaTauris. If one did DNF, obviously, hopefully that doesn't happen, then I think Chris might stand some form of a chance of getting a haul of points against maybe one of the AlphaTauris that is left. But let's hope that nobody DNFs and we get a nice, clean and full grid finish the race. It's quite interesting. Jägermol had set his time, I believe, on the medium compound tyre. So he's now going to go to the softs. So I expect him to be roundabout in the 1:07.5s, maybe 1:07.6s. So definitely some time to improve from himself, as Chris has invalidated on his potential final run, I believe.
Yes, and I was on board with Chris. He just took a little bit too much of the inside at turn 1, picking up the invalidation there. I'm currently on board with the man who is on provisional pole right now. It is Wesker, as he's going to take us through the Senna S's and on to the DRS straight. Nice exit out of turn 3. He does have a little bit of traffic ahead that could get in his way, and oh, that's not what you like to see. Definitely off-putting there for Wesker, but he is he's backed out of it. Wesker not happy with that. I believe the two cars behind him were NSR Girls and Dylan. So NSR Girls, they went to overtake Dylan, which when Wesker was coming through on his flying lap, definitely off-putting for the Aston Martin, as Scuba now is marginally up in Sector 1, and Scuba the biggest threat right now to Wesker for that pole position, and Carlsby they're getting up into second place, so a good lap there from Carlsby. We've been saying he's due a good result. Is tonight going to be the night?
Yeah, and just a quick update, as I've just been informed by myself, TTG Frey Pepper is actually TTG Waffles, so it's not his debut race. So he's changed his PSN. We were not aware of that. So Frey Pepper is now TTG Waffles.
Okay, so that definitely makes things more interesting now in terms of the constructors, knowing that Waffles is Frey Pepper. The guy definitely has an affiliation there for some assortment of foods there, I'm not going to lie, but goes from peppers to waffles. Difficult combination of ingredients there, but it's good to see him here.
Definitely, he likes it hot and spicy.
That was poor.
Well, we can all try.
As
But yeah,
Chris to the line improves, gets himself up into P10, but obviously with 15 seconds to go in the session, Jaeger Mole getting himself underway. So I believe we got a... Oh, that's Waffles going off through turn 7 and 8, and he is out of the session, and that is Waffles out. And Wesker improves there with a 6.8, a fantastic lap there from Wesker. As I believe we got Dylan to the line now. Dylan marginally down on his time as Yogi's into the pits. Yaham, I think completely put off here by someone's crash car. As Scuba to the line there. Looked like maybe a little bit of contact. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. That's a 5-place grid penalty for Scuba.
yeah, and I believe NSR Giles reset to track at the pit entry. That's why there was his DNF, and I think a little bit of a hold up around about that area. But it is Wesker who is currently on provisional pole. The only people that can really affect him now is Jägermol and Yogi, but also Pauldy can, but they're all going to go into the pits. So it is Wesker that will take the provisional pole in the round 9 of the Brazilian Grand Prix in TTML Formula 3.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's definitely going to be some angry Irish comments here from Scuba after what he just had to go through there on the line. Not sure if he's going to be too happy with what happened. We're going to quickly check, and we'll see. It didn't look good on our end, and I'm sure Scuba is going to be very upset with that 5-place grid penalty. But we're going to run you through the order. It is Wesker, the man who takes pole position here tonight, with Legend on the front row. A good result there for Legend. Carlsbury in third. We'll have Dylan in fourth, Poldy in fifth, Waffles in sixth, and it's our girls in sixth. Seventh, Jägermol in eighth, and then we'll have Scuba with his 5-place grid drop down in ninth. Yogi will round out the top 10 with Chris, Yaham, CR7 and TTG Robin outside the top 10 with free choice of tyre compound.
Yeah, definitely an interesting grid. See with CR7 not up there in the usual top 3 positions. I'm going to ask yourself, Mike, who do you think maybe take the race win here tonight, as CR7 is quite far down the grid, and he is going to have to make them crucial overtakes if he does want to win.
Yeah, I think for CR7, he's going to try and have some fun now in these last 2 rounds, so he'll probably be starting towards the back end to try and get these overtakes, maybe work on his overtaking prowess, because let's be fair, he hasn't had to do it very often this season. He gets pole position, gets into the lead, and then buggers off into the distance. But yeah, but for CR7, I think he wants that challenge of seeing how far up the order he can get. But from what I know personally, this is a track that Wesker does enjoy. He is usually very quick around Brazil, so Wesker definitely could be a man walking away with the race win here tonight.
Yeah, I think it opens a lot of opportunities, a lot of action probably going to be on the track as well, and a lot of overtakes for CR7 to do. It's kind of like his situation where he, can have a little bit of fun now. He's got the championship secure. He can then just, do some overtaking instead of being right at the front where nobody can catch him.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously we got 36 laps of Brazil to look forward to, and outside the top 10. Interesting, Chris going for those hard tyres. You said earlier no one's going to touch him. Chris has touched him immediately.
Yeah, that's a quite interesting one. I suspect he's maybe possibly looking for a safety car, because then he won't have to make a pit stop until late in the race, but the hards may take a little bit of time to get warmed up and get used to the track as well. So it's definitely a bold strategy going for the hards, but I would have gone for either a medium or a soft compound tyre.
Yes, and the other drivers outside the top 10, we got Yaham on the set of the soft tyres, and Yaham's got a lot of work to do as well. So both him and CR7 are going to have to try and carve their way through the field. Yaham is the other driver in this battle for second in the drivers, and obviously with him and Yogi down there in 10th and 12th, with both of the Aston Martins in the top 6. A very difficult night for the AlphaTauri drivers in both championship respectively.
Yeah, as the drivers are now coming through the final sector of the track, as they will go into their grid positions, I'll hand you over to my commentator colleague that will give you the race start for the round 9 of the TTML Brazilian Grand Prix in Formula 3 as we get ready for race start with lights out.
Yeah, absolutely, as the drivers are now coming onto the grid to take their positions. And of course, as mentioned earlier, we're paying tribute to the incident in Aberfan 55 years ago. So all these drivers are going to be looking upon a good show to show tribute to that tragedy, as we wait for those 5 red lights to come on, and here they come. Lights are out for us, but maybe not for the other drivers, as we will be getting underway momentarily, and we are underway here for round number 9. It's a good start there from Carlos. We gets the jump on Legend immediately. Poldy trying to go around the outside. It's 3 wide into turn 1 with Waffles, Poldy and Dylan, and that is not what you want to see. 3 wide into turn 1, it doesn't work, and Scuba there already getting himself up into 7th place as he looks to try and carve his way through the field. But Waffles there, a great start from him, gets the jump on a lot of people, and he's up into 4th already.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a lot of bit of battles at the back as... Oh!
Yeah, as what's called, I just saw Yaham and Chris going side by side, and Yogi and CR7 going side by side as well. So a lot of side by side action going on this opening lap, as Yaham on those soft tyres versus the hards of Chris, and it's only a matter of time before Yaham gets this move done. Looking around to see if we got any wing damage on anyone. Doesn't appear to be so, but here we go. Yaham really all over the back of Chris, and he's going to get alongside him up the hill, and the run now towards turn 1. He'll have the outside line, which will turn to the inside for turn 2. Is Yaham going to outbrake Chris and send it all the way around the outside? Chris will have the tighter inside line, but Yaham there will be able to get that position, and that might open things up now for Yogi to make a move as well. Yogi drawing alongside the McLaren. The CR7 and Robin are both into the pits, and I'm not sure why they're both into the pits. I'm guessing a bit of contact there between them, and yet a front wing change here for Robin, so both of them may be picking up a bit of a loss on the front downforce.
Yeah, it's not a great start there for the champion for Formula 3, as CR7 is in the pits, and he is out. I don't know what the game was telling me. He's still in the pits. I believe Robin is just coming out. Yep, so they're both on fresh medium, so they'll be going for quite a few laps more than the soft compound tyre. But yeah, that's a very crucial overtake for both of the AlphaTauris, getting past that McLaren that is a reserve, as there seems to be a battle for the the fastest lap, should I say, between Wesker and Legend. Yeah,
but in these early stages, we're expecting to see a few fastest laps being set by different drivers. But of course, now DRS is activated on lap 3, as Karlsruhe is going to try and use that to close up to the back of Wesker. Legend there just sitting in 3rd. Waffles has dropped out that 1 second window. He's trying to get himself back into it, and he needs to, because he'll be under pressure from Dylan, Poldy and Scuba very quickly. As Scuba now down the inside of Poldy, and it's a fantastic move there from Scuba to get the job done in a part of the track where you wouldn't really expect an overtake to happen. Scuba there getting himself up into P6.
Yeah, fantastic there for Scuba, especially with that 5-place grid penalty that he probably wasn't expecting. So he's going to want to get up the grid as quick as possible and get maybe maximum points possible. Maybe he might even be that shock race winner this evening, but still early days at the moment as we've only completed 3 laps and there's still 33 laps left in round 9 of the Brazilian Grand Prix in TTML F3.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Carlsby over the back of Wesker, and you got to think that this is going to be job done now with DRS wide open on the run down into turn 4. He's going to draw alongside the Aston Martin and he's going to overtake for the lead. Carlsby now into the race lead.
Yeah, and I think that'll be very crucial for Carlsby. We saw this in Japan not so long ago. He was doing absolutely fantastic, and then it all just fell apart. So he needs to really just get his head down, focus, not worry about cars behind him, just worry about what's in front of him and the up and coming laps ahead of him. Just, take each lap as it comes. Don't put any pressure on yourself.
Yeah, as Yaham picks up the inaugural 3-second time penalty, and for Yaham, obviously at the start trying to get past Chris, lost him a massive amount of time because he is 2 seconds out of the DRS window of Jägermo. Well, he's about a second and a tenth, let's say. And the thing is now with DRS, these guys are just going to pull further and further away from him because they all have DRS on each other. As Dylan there picks up a 3-second time penalty, and you see now Yaham, he's lost a few tenths just on that straight alone. He's going to lose a few more on the run down towards turn 4, and he's not going to be able to gain any time. So for Yaham, he's going to have to start thinking about alternative strategies to get himself going in this race.
Yeah, his situation is a very difficult, I think, one, because, as you said, he's now going to have to start looking at maybe what different strategy he can do. What happens if a safety car comes out after he's pitted. There's definitely a contributing factor to whatever decision he does make, but it's got to have to be the right strategy for him. He's got to just think, how many points can I get tonight? How far can we push this AlphaTauri team? Because he's got his teammate right behind him, so maybe there may be some team orders in that AlphaTauri of Yogi and Yaham to say, well, Yogi's maybe a little bit faster, let me through, I can then maybe attack Jägermol. But it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to watch and see what happens and unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, you can see he's picked up that 3-second time penalty. I think he was over pushing to try and catch up, and I think now he's kind of settled in that he's not going to be able to catch up on the pace right now, because DRS is incredibly powerful. No matter how much time he gains back in Sector 2, he loses it all in Sector 3 and 1 with DRS.
Yeah, and it's also an interesting one with the AlphaTauri drivers because one's on the soft compound tyre, one's on the medium. So for me, I would let my teammate who's on the mediums maybe go in front because they can last a little bit longer, and because Jägermol is on the medium compound tyre, them soft tyres are probably going to come in a few laps time. They are going to come to the end of their life, so you're going to want Yogi in front of Yaham to close that gap up to Jägermol, because Yogi is on a fresher
mistake from Wesker,
tyre.
and here goes Legend. Sorry to cut in there. Wesker getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of turn 3, and now Legend gets the run, draws alongside on the run down into turn 4. Wesker going to brake later, but Legend will have the inside line. Is absolute fantastic on the limit stuff here between these two as they climb up the hill. Wesker on the inside, Legend on the outside. Still wheel to wheel as Legend completely off track, and that's the nature of the corner when going side by side there. The car on the outside usually does end up off track, and Wesker able to hold on to P2, but he's definitely lost a lot of time now to Carlsby because of that little battle.
Yeah, and just a quick note,
Dylan on the back of Waffles. Sorry, sorry to cut in again.
That's alright, that's not a problem.
Dylan was right on the back of Waffles, maybe looking for a lunge into the the final real corner of the circuit. But of course, we do have a few more like little left-hand kinks coming up the hill. But they would turn 12. He was having a little look at Waffles as Jagermore gets past NSR Galsey for P7. And there's the switch that you was talking about between Yogi and Yaham.
Yeah, as I was going to mention, Yaham did pick up another 3-second time penalty, so maybe he was just pushing a little bit too much, so he's going to let his teammate through. But this battle here for potentially a podium place, it is going to go down to the wire, I think. They're all on the soft compound tyre. Dylan has a penalty, so he's going to have to be careful where he brakes and what corners he takes, because he doesn't want any more penalties or any more warnings.
Oh, it's Waffles there getting all out of shape, and he loses both spots here to Dylan, and Scuba gets out of shape on the exit of turn 9, and he absolutely just about saves it out of the wall. But yeah, definitely showing the treacherous of this particular circuit, as Legend has managed to get through on Wesker. We missed that overtake, but both of these guys now over a second away from Carlsbury. Carlsbury has a bit of breathing room now out in front.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting one because in this like kind of pack, you've got the two Alpines, and I just wonder, I'm guessing they are in a party, if Dylan is just radio communicating with his teammate Poldy, because they are kind of in that area of each other of who defends, who attacks, because they are kind of in this battle as well.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, I was just on board with Gals and Poldy's battle there. Absolute scenes of what went on. I honestly, mate, I would tell you to go look at the stream, rewind it back a couple of seconds, because that looked very malicious and nasty.
Yeah, and that is Giles without a wing, and that has triggered a virtual safety car. So drivers will have to watch their Delta, because we both know, as league racers, the Delta is an absolute pain, and it can cause a drive-through penalty, and they are the worst thing possible. It literally kills your race off.
I just need to have a little look back at this incident again. So obviously NSR Gals on the inside into turn 4. We've got Poldy on the outside. NSR Gals gets ahead. I think he's touched the inside curb at turn 4, which has put him a little bit out of shape on the exit, and he's tried to correct it, and the car has just completely snapped straight across Poldy, and both of them, massive incident, and I honestly think that is going to be going to the stewards. But DRS has been enabled once again. We are back on the way with Green Flag Racing on lap 10 of 36. And Yaham and Yogi getting a couple of free spots here. Yogi now up into 7th, and this is going to be interesting now, because Jagermol is quite a distance off the back of Waffles, who's dropped back off Dylan, so not a good restart there from Waffles. But now we'll get to see what Yogi and Yaham's pace is relative to Jagermol. Now he doesn't have DRS to save him.
Yeah, and this doesn't help Dylan either as well, because he hasn't got his teammate to help him now to maybe, get Poldy back up to the when they were in that battle before the incident. So Dylan's going to have his work cut out now, because he's not going to have anyone around him. Oh, set the 2 yellow flags. That looks to be a Williams. No, it's an Alpine, so
yeah, it's Poldy.
Not going great for one of the the Alpines, apologies. There's so many blues on the blue markers on the track now, so it's difficult to tell. As I believe Yogi is... No, that's not Yogi, that's Yaham, right behind his teammate. That could get quite interesting with team orders again.
Yeah, especially so when Yogi doesn't appear to be closing in on Jagermol. So obviously we got the top 5 and a bit of a DRS train. Waffles is on the teetering edge of dropping out of it. He really can't afford to drop out of it, because he's just going to drop back massively, and he's using his DRS to try and stick in there. He's just about in it, but now he's dropped back out. Now he's back in it again, and he's just done enough to stay in it this time around. But Waffles he can't afford to lose any more time. If he drops out of DRS, I think it's all over.
Oh,
That's a
I have
full-course
to
safety
interrupt
car.
you. Yeah, as Yarham completely went off the track, and his teammate has gone through, and so is Scuba as well. So yeah, he just didn't brake. He just literally went off the track at the end of, I believe, it might have been end of Sector 2 going into Sector 3. I'm not quite sure where Sector 2 ends, but it was the final kind of corner before that upward hill to the DRS. So, yeah, he just didn't stop. He just carried on, and then I think realised that he was on the grass.
Well,
As Yarham has damage.
I can tell you what the cause of the safety car was. It wasn't that. It was Robin who crashed out on the exit of turn 4 and into the wall. He went and lost his entire race there with that small mistake. I'm guessing once again, like what we saw with the NSR Gals Poldy incident, that he just got onto that inside curb and lost the rear. But these guys need to stay away from that curb on the inside. Like if you're gonna hit it, do it safely, is what I would say. That is Ivor Brimike's top tip here for turn 4.
Yeah, I think a lot of the curbs can cause a few issues, but I think, as you mentioned, turn 4 is a potential race-ending curb, as I believe Robin has found that out, as the top runners have decided to pit for the mediums, so they will be doing potentially maybe the one stop. They may go on to a fresh set of softs at the end of the race if we do have another safety car. That's not going to be ruled out at the moment, as
that's heartbreaking for Wesker. That is heartbreaking for Wesker. He's come up behind Chris, and Legend and Carlsby have come up ahead of Chris.
That's not what he wanted.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, as Yoki has gone onto the soft, so he's definitely going to pit again. There's no way he's going nearly over 10 laps on the softs. So he'll be definitely in.
I think the soft tyres, if you're good on your tyre weight, you can, I think, get 18 laps maybe, but yeah, I don't think it's enough for Yoki to get to the end. If he does manage to get to the end, and like, fair play if he does. Like, we'll give him all credit if he does manage it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's going to be a tricky one to get to the end. I think, personally, he's gone on the softs because he did not want to touch the hards here tonight.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. The championship winner, which is CR7, isn't even in the top 10, and he's on the hard compound tyre. He's in P11 at the moment, but I suspect when we get back under racing, he will make light work of the drivers in front of him and do some overtaking as well. So
Yogi's in. So there we go. He's pitted for the soft tyres. So he's done his 2 mandatory tyres that he has to be on, and he's coming back into the pits again to chuck on a fresh set of mediums. So let's see, as it is going to be a fresh set of mediums. So there we go. That was smart from Yogi. He's got his pit stops out of the way. He has lost some positions, but now he can go to the end comfortably on those mediums.
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, it is showing correct. I was just going to say I thought Colesbury was leading the safety car, but it's not. It's the hash driver of Jägermol, but he is on 13 lap mediums, so he's not going to probably have the best of starts. Well, on the restart, should I say, as Colesbury is on fresh mediums, and so is Legend. So it's going to be an interesting restart, I think, as Jägermol has to get that pitch perfect restart if he does want to keep the race lead going into turn 1 and possibly into turn 2.
Oh yeah, it's not just that. I mean, obviously for Wesker as well, he needs an absolute cracking restart to get the jump on Chris, because he does not want to be behind this guy for too long. We saw how unfortunate it was for Yarham losing so much time behind the hard tyres, and they were fresh hard tyres at the start of the race. Now these are 13 lap worn hard tyres, and not where you want to be stuck behind it, especially when you're trying to battle for the race win.
Yeah, I think worn hards is probably not the best situation to be in. Obviously, I reckon. Oh, as Jägermol has retired. Jägermol is out of the race. The race leader is out of the race under a safety car. I think he may have done a George Russell moment.
And Wesker has got a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Chris. And he's under pressure now from Dylan immediately on this restart, as Scuba's got a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Wesker there running deep, making a small bit of contact with Dylan. Now Waffle's able to get through as well. It is hectic on this restart. I mean, as you said with Jägermol, it seemed like he DNF'd whilst trying to warm up his tyres and just getting it all wrong. And already Legend and Carlsbury, they do not have to overtake Jägermol because he's now out of the race. But now Wesker stuck behind Chris, and look how much time Chris is already losing to these guys ahead.
Yeah, I think with Wesker, he needs to get this move done very quickly to even stand a chance of catching. Oh, set the 2 yellow flags. That is an AlphaTauri round, and that is Yaham, I believe.
And oh, this side by side, Wesker and Chris side by side, and Wesker is going to get that move done. But look now, he's 2.5 seconds behind Legend.
Yeah, as a lot of cars are now overtaking the McLaren driver of Chris, so I just wonder if he knows that battle isn't worth fighting, as Carlsbury sets the fastest lap on lap 16 of 36.
Yep, so obviously Wesker now 2.4 seconds behind Legend. We got Waffles, who is in a net P3 right now, because obviously Wesker with that 5-second stop-go time penalty will drop behind Waffles. Scuba and Dylan both taking advantage of Chris on the main straight, the pit straight, and
Yaham's out
from the race. Yep, Yaham is out, and is that going to be another safety car? We hope not. It doesn't appear to be so, but that's big for the championship now. Wesker doesn't have to really pressure himself now.
Yeah, and I think this is now what Chris kind of wanted. One AlphaTauri left, so he can try and get his maximum points. He is in front of Yogi, so but obviously Chris has to pit.
It doesn't matter. Chris is a reserve driver,
okay.
so he's he doesn't contribute to the constructors' points.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware.
Yeah, so Chris is contributing to his own driver's points, but not his constructor's points. We've got CR7 over the back of him now, who doesn't need any more points, but he'll take a few more by getting through there. As we got NSR Gals say, oh, a little bit of contact there. CR7 went to go to the racing line and said, oh my God, Chris sending it back down the inside of NSR Gals. Oh, this is absolutely kicked off in the battle for P7 here, with CR7, Chris and Gals there. And Yogi's just sitting in behind, waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, it seems to be the overtaking season has opened in Brazil this evening, as everybody is battling on track. I don't think anyone's got a real massive gap, like over 5 seconds, so there's definitely overtakes to be done, as it looks like Giles is going to go round the outside of the McLaren driver and gets himself back up to P8 and gets past Chris.
Yeah, but now Chris with DRS, is he going to be able to come back at NSR Gals? No, he's going to peel off into the pit lane, and questions have to be asked there. Why wouldn't he have done that under the safety car?
Yeah, I think, speaking from experience, obviously, as a league racer, I think if there's one time you want to pit...
Waffles. Sorry to cut in once again.
That's alright.
Scuba's got his nose down the inside, that's side by side as they come up towards the... Oh my God, a little bit of contact there. Waffles there making a little bit of contact with Scuba, and Scuba into the wall. And Dylan...
Oh, Dylan gets the 10. Yeah, because he's cutting the grass. He's taken the F1 car as a lawnmower. Yeah, so set the 2 yellow flags. I don't think that will cause a safety car, because it's well off the track. But yeah, that's not going to help Dylan.
Absolutely not. And I mean, I said earlier, Scuba isn't going to be happy with what happened in qualifying. I think he's going to be even less happy now with what's happened in the race, as Dylan's trying to get past Wesker, and see Wesker into the pits, and he's got wing damage, so he's definitely going to be into the pits now. As oh my god, absolute what Yogi girls, what has gone on there? And that is another full course safety car.
Yeah, I just caught the end of that, and that's Yogi without a front wing. So, definitely a bad day at the office for AlphaTauri. Wesker is in the pit, so he couldn't have timed that any better. But yeah, I don't know what's happened. Obviously, I think you may have caught more of it than I have.
I caught the end of it. I caught the end of it. We had NSR girls. Literally, his front wing attached to the rear end of Yogi, and both of them going off into the wall at turn 1. It seems today that everyone has decided to bring out all their mistakes.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you that one. Giles' wing is damaged. Not to the point of what Yogi's wing is damaged, but it has taken a significant hit. I wonder if any of them have got floor damage as well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. CR7 has got himself up to P4 as he's in the pits. Oh no! What have I just seen?
Poldy.
Not what you want to see, as it's an Alpine double stack as well, I believe. So that's not going to help them, as Giles is into the pits. But yeah, as you said, I think all the drivers are coming out with their mistakes, as it is coming to the end of this season next week. As we will, I believe it's Abu Dhabi next week. So yes, I think as you mentioned, yeah, all the drivers are coming out with their mistakes, and I believe Dylan still has his 10-second penalty to have an effect. So quite a few position changes at the end of the race as well. So action on and off the track in Brazil.
Yep, and I got no words right now. I am flabbergasted with what we're seeing here tonight. It does seem like everyone has decided to bring out all their mistakes tonight, and obviously the guys that haven't so far, Carlsbury, Legend, they've done fantastic. CR7's been keeping himself out of trouble, apart from like the first lap where I think he picked up wing damage in turn 1. But
yeah,
everyone else, it's been a lot of mistakes. It's been very scrappy here tonight, and not to the standards that we've seen over the past couple of races here in Formula 3. And personally, I think after this race, everyone will need to reflect on the way they drove here tonight and reevaluate going into the final round of Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, just a penalty update. Dylan is sitting on 13 seconds as he did a massive corner cut across one piece of the track, which caused the 10-second. Paulie, as we know, has the 5-second penalty, but nobody else has any other penalties at the moment. There is still a few laps left for them to be picked up. So, yeah, I think after this safety restart, I think everyone just needs a few moments, just have a reset button and just maybe shake off their mistakes, and let's have some clean overtaking racing for the remaining, I believe it's 15 laps if I can't do maths correctly then. might have to recount it for me.
Yeah, we'll have 15 laps at the end of this lap.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed the part they've just gone through, one of the wall barriers is glitching. It's like spinning into a glitch. I think someone's hit it and thing. But as the safety car is now going to come in, and I will hand you over to my commentator colleague, which is Mike, for the safety car restart for round 9 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for TTML Formula 3.
Yep, as Carlsbury gets us back underway, he gets a good start. Legend not really losing any time to him, as it looks like Waffles there is not caught napping, but it is CR7 who's caught napping as Dylan on those soft tyres, and they should be able to get to the end. He does make a little bit of contact with the back of CR7. Now he's side by side with Chris going through turn 3, and Dylan able to hold on, but here comes Chris once again looking down the inside. He's going to outbrake himself and gets the move done going into turn 4 there for Chris. And Dylan's on the curb at turn 5 and into the wall. Is our wing damage for the Alpine? It does appear to be so, as he understeers completely off track, and Wesker with a 3-second time penalty to his name as well. And it's been it's definitely been a race to forget here in Formula 3, I think.
Yeah, as I was just on board with that battle with Dylan, I think he was battling with Chris, and Chris just wasn't expecting him to come back for the overtake with Dylan, so I think he just closed the gap and Dylan just got absolutely squeezed into a wall. As Dylan is going to come into the pit, so I suspect he will, as CR7 and Waffles are going to battle it, and Dylan is now out of the race, and that leaves us with 9 drivers.
Yep, 9 drivers, and here comes Waffles back on CR7, and gonna try around the outside, but CR7's got that covered and keeps a hold of the position. And we've got Yogi side by side with Wesker. Is the softs versus the mediums, as Yogi's gonna try and hang it around the outside, but backs out of it, doesn't want to commit to that, and sticks behind Wesker for the time being.
Yeah, it's definitely getting feisty and interesting in Formula 3. Obviously, as you said, a day to forget for some of the drivers who maybe have brought out a few mistakes that they didn't want to bring out, but we've still got around about 13 laps left as they are coming on to lap 24 of 36. So it's definitely going to be an interesting final few laps that we have left, as DRS has now been enabled by race control, so we will see a few more overtakes happening out of turn 2 into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see. Oh no, it's that Yogi in the wall again.
As there, it seems to be a battle, Giles, I believe, Giles and Chris, yeah.
Here goes Giles. He's going to try it around the outside of Chris. Maybe look for a switchback, and that's beautifully done there from Giles.
Yeah, fantastic overtake there for the Williams driver. Gets himself up to P5 after his wing damage and incident that he had earlier on in the race. He may even catch up to TTG Waffles, but he's still got around about 1.5, 1.6 seconds to close on that gap before he can even think about an overtake. And he hasn't got much ERS left either.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing now for him to really try and get himself into this race. He needs to try and save his ERS, but he's under constant pressure from Chris right now. And of course we got Wesker and Poldy in behind. We got Yogi, who I think has managed to get away without wing damage from the turn 1 half spin. I think, yeah, there's Chris now down the inside of NSR Gals. It's not what these two want. They make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact as they run up the hill. And Wesker is going to try, oh, he backs out of it as Chris picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to release some of the pressure now from Gals.
Yeah, he would have seen that and thinking to himself, phew, he's got a penalty now. I can now kind of, if he does overtake me, I've got that cushion. If I keep him within that certain time, then I know I'm going to get that position back. So maybe he might just let him through. He might not. He might want to push on and try and catch TTG Waffles, who is pulling round about 2/10, maybe 3/10 a lap to Giles, as I believe that battle between...
Giles is closing in.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Giles is closing in.
Oh, he is now, yeah. Yeah, he is now, yeah. So, it seems to me maybe Waffles is dropping back into the clutches of the Williams driver, as Giles is not got DRS at the moment, but he is still 1.5 seconds behind CTG Waffles for P4.
Yeah, as we got Wesker trying to get the move done on Chris, and Chris holding on right now, but that red light that Wesker would have seen, very encouraging for the Aston Martin. He's going to try it down the inside. Chris does leave him the room and slots in behind the Aston Martin, as Poldy is now right behind, going to be looking for an opportunity to get through also. And now Wesker 1 second back from NSR Gals, who is still closing in on Waffles up ahead, and this is going to turn into an interesting battle for P4 very soon, I think.
Yeah, as I have to interrupt you there, as Legend is going to overtake Carlsberg as they go into turn 1 late on the brakes. And look at this, CR7 is on the back of Carlsberg as well. So we may have a three-way fight here for the race lead as they go down now into turn 3 and 4. It looks like CR7, is he going to go for the move? He's having a look, but he doesn't get the move done at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to stick behind Carlsberg for the time being, and try to get some of that ERS to go to some good use here. I think he's waiting for Carlsberg's red light to flash, but he does have 100% ERS, and CR7, if he uses it on the straight, he probably would get both of them into turn 1.
Yeah, as he's showing his pace all season long, and I think it's going to be inevitable. If he does, from near the back of the grid to a race win, then fair play to the guy. He's been absolutely sensational since I've come in to commentate with yourself, and to see him potentially go on for another race win is going to be interesting. As he goes down the inside, I believe, of Cosby into turn 1, but he doesn't get the move done. But he is going to get the move done potentially as they come out of the exit of turn 2, as they will now get the DRS. As he goes for, he's having a look. He's going to have a look. Nope, he's going to stick behind Carlsberg, and that may be a little bit frustrating. But Carlsberg can see that flashing red light on that Mercedes, so the ERS is harvesting, I believe.
Yep, Legend on about 15% now, as we got Carlsberg on about 30%, 81% for CR7.
Yeah, as it seems to be CR7's not just got the all-round pace. Oh, sector 2 yellow flags, that's Yogi. As I was going to mention, it seems to be that CR7 just hasn't got the raw pace. He has the ERS management as well, as he's right on the back of that Alfa Romeo. Is he going to get the... Yeah, he's using it now.
He's in the slipstream. He's going to go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. He is using everything, as Carlsberg is using everything. A little bit of contact between the two of them, and CR7 is going to stick behind, but he is going to see that flashing red light pop up any minute, and this is going to be the opportunity now for CR7 as he's on his ERS once again, and he goes to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. They wheel to wheel, side by side, and CR7 gets the move done. Meanwhile, in behind we got Wesker and NSR Gals side by side as they come through turn 5, and that's Wesker in the wall.
Yeah, that is the Aston Martin driver of Wesker, and that's a virtual safety car. This is going to help Legend just recharge that ERS a little bit. As look at the gap between the top 3. They're literally on the back of each other. It is so close, but unfortunate there for Wesker, as he did hit the wall, and I reckon that may just be his night finished. You still get points, as there's only 9 drivers left.
I personally think Wesker, it doesn't matter how bad his race is going to go now, he's going to try and finish this race because he knows Yaham is out. So all this by year is 3 points for Wesker to really extend that gap to Yaham for second in the championship to a level that Yaham isn't going to be able to close in when it comes to Abu Dhabi next week.
Yeah, as the virtual safety car is still out, so Yogi and Wesker are into the pits, so they will get this kind of free pit stop, you might as well say. So yeah, so this is not really helping CR7 at the moment if he does want that race win, because this is giving Legend that time to recharge a little bit of that ERS. DRS is enabled, and we are back under racing. We've got 6 laps left as Chris now gets a third 3-second time penalty. I believe he may be up to 9 seconds now, or 12. I will just double check. No, he is up to 9 with Pauldy. Oh, Pauldy and Chris are having a battle, it seems to be, on this VSC restart. They are both on penalties. Pauldy has 5 and Chris has 9. So Chris would need a 4-second gap. But at the moment that doesn't look possible, as Pauldy is now in front of the McLaren driver.
Yep, and now Carlsby has dropped out of DRS range of CR7, so that freeway battle has turned into a two-way scrap here between CR7 and Legend for this race win. And CR7, he's definitely got the overwhelming ERS advantage, and Legend is going to be under some serious pressure. If I was Legend, I wouldn't mind CR7 overtaking me on this next lap, just so I could stay behind him, recharge the battery a bit, and then come back at him on the final lap.
Yeah, as it seems to be a bit of a battle between Chris and Pauldy. Chris has got the position back up to P6. There was a little bit of contact with Pauldy's front wing, but just looking at the position change, CR7 has made up 11 positions in this race. It just shows he is an unbelievable champion this season, and his pace has definitely shown it, as Wesker gets a 3-second time penalty. The other noticeable changes as well, Chris has gone up 5 positions, Giles, Waffles and Yogi up 2 positions. Wesker has lost 8 positions. CR7 is now up to 12 position changes, as he has now got the race lead from Legend.
Yep, CR7 didn't use his ERS, and neither did Legend. That was just a straight DRS overtake there for CR7, and now Legend needs to stick with CR7 in that DRS window, recharge his battery a bit, and then come back at the Red Bull on the final 2 laps. We are on lap 32 or 36. We're about to be on lap 33 momentarily, and who's going to come out on top here? Is it going to be CR7 again, or is it going to be Legend taking what I believe would be his first win of the season?
Yeah, it's looking to be the inevitable now, as he sets the fastest lap. He wants every point possible going into that final round next week. CR7 is just a class above the rest. He did out pretty much 98% of the incidents and the troubles tonight, and he's just put on a masterclass. Yeah, he's just now in the driving seat, as he won't get the fastest lap point, as Yogi now takes that fastest lap point with a 1 minute 8.7.
Yep, Yogi gonna take that fastest lap away, and I believe it's gonna be a fastest lap shootout between Yogi and Wesker in terms of those soft tyres, trying to get a fastest lap. Legend, he's on the teetering edge of dropping out that DRS window, and that is not good for Legend. He needs to get back within that 1 second comfortably. And right now he's out of it. And he's trying to use his ERS to get back into it, but CR7 is using his ERS to keep him out of it. And CR7 has more ERS, and there we go. Legend's had to use absolutely everything to try and get back in, and he's got nothing now to really prevent CR7 from pulling away.
I think it's now into the hands of our championship.
By the way, you are lagging heavily.
Am I?
Yes. As Pauldy and Chris once again switch positions as they go into turn 1. But yeah, you are lagging heavily.
It might be because I'm hosting the lobby. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's because I think it's because I'm hosting the lobby. I blame the internet.
Rightfully so as well.
as there's 2 laps left in TTML Formula 3. I think we both can say it has not been the best of nights for a few drivers, and I think there'll be a few incident reports into our stewards this evening after the race. But I think we can all agree that CR7 has shown his absolute sheer dominance to go pretty much from the back of the grid to the front of the grid within 34 laps completed, as they are now on the last 2 laps of 35 and 36, as CR7 will now come in to, well, out of turn 2 into what will be turn 3.
It's turn 4.
Oh, is it? Oh, do apologise. I'm not very good with track.
Honestly, as NSR Gals and Waffles are having a bit of a battle coming through the exit of turn 4 and into turn 5. Gals gets that position, and up into P4 he'll go on the penultimate lap. Honestly, like, the driving standards tonight have been far below acceptable in my opinion, and
yeah,
like it does pain me to actually kind of sit here and commentate over it. So I think everyone really at the end of this race needs to take a long look at themselves going into the final round, because we can't have a continuation of standards like this.
and I think I can echo what you said there as well. I think a lot of the drivers have just thought, oh well, there's only 2 rounds left, kind of thing. I'm going to make some moves that maybe I wouldn't have done if this was earlier on in the season, as Waffle get a 3-time penalty, so that, I believe, is his first one. So he's done really well to get that only on potentially which will be the last lap of the race, as CR7 is coming through the final few corners to get another race win on the history books in this season for himself.
Yep, CR7 coming through the final sector now, as he's about to come through now up the hill. It's been a championship drive there from the Formula 3 champion, and he's going to cross the line to pick up the victory here in Brazil. He started 13th, he finishes first. Legend, with a fantastic result, comes home in second place, and Carlsbury also with a brilliant result comes home in third, just ahead of NSR Gals, who manages to get past Waffles and get himself up into fourth. Waffles in fifth, Poldy in sixth, Chris comes home in seventh, Yogi, who I believe still has the fastest lap, and he does, comes home in eighth but jumps up to seventh, jumping Chris on penalties. And then we got Wesker to the line, and he'll come home in ninth place. So Wesker, I think, extends. Just going to quickly have a little look. Obviously, Stewart's inquiries could obviously change everything.
Yeah.
But
well, I think it will in some parts.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm waiting for everything to load up. So Wesker now, as it stands, goes into the final round with a 22-point lead to Yaham in the battle for second in the Drivers' Championship. I think Aston Martin may have done enough to kind of seal second in the Constructors. I'm not sure. But that is going to bring an end to the race tonight. So we're going to take you through the order one last time. It is CR7 taking victory here in Brazil ahead of Legend in second place, and Carlsbury rounding off the podium. Then we have NSR Gals in fourth, with TTG Waffles in fifth. Sixth place goes to Poldy, and Yogi with that fastest lap comes home in seventh place. Chris will cross the line in eighth. Ninth place for Wesker, and then our non-finishers of the evening: NLR Dylan, Scuba, Yaham, Yagamore, and TTG Robin. And there's definitely going to be some major discussions after this race, I can assure you of that. And honestly, basically, from my perspective, I think the drivers need to take a long look at what standards they've brought in tonight and try to never repeat these standards ever again.
Yeah, and I think I can echo what you're saying there as well. The standards haven't been the best of what we've seen in F3. Obviously, I've only come in since the British Grand Prix, but yeah, I can definitely echo what you said. The standards hopefully will improve for the final race of the season in F3. So as we move on to tomorrow, F4 and F5 will be back for the Brazilian Grand Prix in round 9. I won't be here, unfortunately, again tomorrow. It'll be TTG, Conti, and I'm not quite sure who F5 will be for the commentary team, but they will be back they'll be back tomorrow for Formula 4 and Formula 5. But myself and Mike will be back next week at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time for the season finale in Abu Dhabi for that race, which I hope the driving stands will be improved and we'll get a lot more action on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, make sure you guys also check out the races that have been going on tonight in Formula 1 and Formula 2. Obviously, James Ed in Formula 1 taking you through the action. I believe Paco Suarez may be back, I'm not sure, for the F1 comms, but James in F1 taking you through the action. And of course, we had Luke Etheridge and Pepsi Freak in F2. So make sure you guys go and check those two streams out, which were going on alongside this one tonight. And of course, tune in tomorrow for F4 and F5. But until next week, guys, I have been Iverbryn Mike. He has been Storm Kings. And, well, we'll catch you next week. Good night.